let's go, let's go, let's go. Out tonight, we go out tonight, out tonight.
To my channel, I am Lawrence Divine, singer, songwriter, soon to be author. Maybe someday I'll be a life coach, who knows? If you're new to my channel, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe and notification buttons so you can get all of my content. In today's broadcast, I'm really excited about a new segment called Stars Featured, where we do a biography on the lives and careers of stars, performers, and vocalists from the past, present, and future. People like Sam Cooke, George Benson, Stevie Wonder, just to name a few. Now, I had this idea because I wanted to pay tribute to my biological father, Mr. Terry Lee, who was a vocalist in the 1970s, and to my stepfather, Mr. Willie Washington, who reared me, and the music he exposed me to once I grew up in Detroit, the Motown sound, the Stylistics, Four Tops. So following in my biological father's footsteps, I released my own debut album in July of 2015 titled Let's Go Out Tonight. I'll leave a link in the description box so you can download and listen. But for now, our first star feature, Mr. Samuel Cooke. Mr. Samuel Cooke was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi on January 22nd, 1931. He was the fifth of 8 children from the Reverend Charles Cooke and his wife, Anna Mae. He was a minister in the Church of Christ. Now, Sam and his family moved from Clarksdale to Chicago in 1933. And Cooke later attended Wendell Phillips Academy High School, the same school that Nat King Cole had attended a few years prior. Now, Cooke began his career singing with his siblings in a group called the Singing Children. But as a teenager, he was part of the group called the Highway QCs. But in 1950, Cooke replaced H.R. Harris as the lead singer for the gospel group, the Soul Stirrers. Their first recording under Cooke's leadership was the song Jesus Gave Me Water in 1951. Now, Sam's religious upbringing had an influence on the style of music he made, and his music was also inspired by the moments in his life. Sam was born in the Deep South, but he grew up in Chicago, and he used these experiences that he had to write songs and the messages that are in the songs. For example, in 1963, Sam Cooke, his wife Barbara, and his brother Charles were traveling to do a show in Shreveport, Louisiana. And they had reservations at a hotel there. But when they got to the hotel, they were refused service. Now, Sam got irate and later was arrested for disturbing the peace. But he was later released to perform his show. But he used that experience to write one of his best hits, A Change Is Gonna Come. Now, this video is about 12 minutes long. Now, coming up next is a more detailed biography of his life and career. But right around the 9-minute mark of the video is where I begin to sing and pay tribute to his song. So for those who don't want to watch the next portion of the biography, you can go to the 9-minute portion of the video and watch my performance. So make sure you stay tuned and watch to the end of the video so you can see my performance of his song, A Change Is Gonna Come. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video. Thank you. Mr. Samuel Cooke, professionally known as Sam Cooke. He added the E to his last name in 1957 to signify a new start. He was an American singer, songwriter, civil rights activist, and entrepreneur. He was known as the King of Soul for his distinctive vocals. Cooke had 30 U.S. Top 40 hits between 1957 and 1964, plus 3 additional hits after his death. He had major hits like You Send Me, A Change Is Gonna Come, Cupid, Chain Gang, Wonderful World, Another Saturday Night. However, one of his biggest selling albums was Twisting the Night Away. Cooke was one of the first modern black performers to establish both a record label and a publishing company. His first pop soul single was Lovable in 1956. It was a remake of the gospel song Wonderful. It was released under an alias, Del Cooke, in order not to alienate his gospel fan base. In 1957, Cooke signed with King Records. His first hit, You Send Me, released as the B-side of Summertime, spent 6 weeks at #1 on the Billboard R&B charts, and also spent 3 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Pop charts. One of his first RCA Victor singles was Chain Gang, which reached #2 on the Billboard Pop charts. It was followed by more hits, including Sad Mood, Cupid, Bring It On Home to Me with Lou Rawls on backing vocals. Like most R&B artists of his time, Cooke focused on singles, and in all, he had 29 top 40 hits on the pop charts and more on the R&B charts. Although Sam Cooke experienced success in his career, his personal life was often marred with tragedy. His first marriage was to singer and dancer Dolores Elizabeth Milligan Cooke. Her stage name was Dee Dee Mohawk. They divorced in 1958, and she was killed in 1959 in an automobile accident. In 1958, Cooke married his second wife, Barbara Campbell, in Chicago. They had 3 children, Linda in 53, Tracy in 60, Vincent in 61. Vincent tragically drowned in a family swimming pool in 1963. In November of 1958, Cooke was involved in a car accident en route from St. Louis to Greenville. His chauffeur, Edward Cunningham, was killed. And on December 11, 1964, at the age of 33, Mr. Samuel Cooke was shot and killed by Bertha Franklin, the manager at the Pasadena Motel in Los Angeles, California. He sustained a gunshot wound to the chest, which had pierced his heart. An investigation carried out by the Los Angeles Police Department and the courts ruled Cooke's death was a justifiable homicide. Yet the circumstances of his death have been called into question by his family. They rejected the versions of events and believed that there was a conspiracy to murder Cooke, and that the murder took place in a manner entirely different than the 3 official accounts recorded. However, to date, there has been no concrete evidence supporting a criminal conspiracy. Less than 3 months after Cooke's death, his widow, Barbara, married his protege, Bobby Womack. The first funeral service for Cooke was held on December 18, 1964, at A&R Leak Funeral Home in Chicago. 200,000 fans lined up for more than 4 city blocks to view his body. A second service was held at the Mount Sinai Baptist Church in Los Angeles, California, on December 19th. Ray Charles sang. Cooke was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Glendale, California. Sam had many accomplishments. In 1986, Cooke was inducted as a charter member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 1987, Cooke was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. On February 1st, 1994, Cooke received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions to the music industry. Although Cooke never won a Grammy Award, he received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1999. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked Cooke number 16th on its list of 100 greatest artists of all time. In 2008, Cooke was named the 4th greatest singer of all time by Rolling Stone. In June of 2011, the city of Chicago renamed a portion of East 36th Street as the honorary Sam Cooke Way. In 2013, Cooke was inducted into the National Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio at Cleveland State University. The Sam Cooke quote, "A change is going to come," is on the wall at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History. And finally, Cooke is inducted into the Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
I was born by the river in a little town. Just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, and I know change gonna come, oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, and I know change gonna come, oh yes it will.
I go to the movies and I go around town. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Ooh, then I go to my brother. Ooh, and I say, brother, help me please. Ooh, but he wants some knocking me right back down on my knees, and all the big times when I thought I could have